Monday, November 3rd, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. Well, we have a new bearish engulfing sell signal in another major index. We'll get to that in a minute. You guys know I start out with stock market indexes, go to futures, and there are several stocks that I've been monitoring for quite a while. Now, today wasn't much, but although it went up a little and had a slightly higher high, there are no breakouts to the upside in general. The E-mini, which you're looking at, micro E-mini, no higher high, same for the ES. No lower low, slightly higher close. That's a doji. We've got two bearish engulfings last week, Wednesday and Thursday. So far, so good. I just have to have a close below last week's lows, which will finish closing a small gap and allow for a little bit lower, a test of support, but I don't expect that to be the end of it by any means. I am actually looking for a 65.32-ish and even lower. And we've got the 5-minute chart. You can see basically it went sideways, about the same, similar to Friday and the last part of Thursday, which was another bearish engulfing 2 days in a row. Top of the market so far, engulfing, but bullish on Spider because it barely closed higher on the day at the last 60 seconds or less. So far, I'm still bearish, looking for this gap to be finished closing. It is almost closed, super close, not quite, but there's another one, and that one's closed. I really think this is going to be a much more significant top than it appears to be so far, except, and there's the 5-minute data and the gap to get closed, plus lower levels. I should have put a gap in here. We also have QQQ getting overbought at the top. Too bad it doesn't have a bearish engulfing, nor does the NASDAQ futures. But we haven't made any higher highs, and I expect these gaps to get closed at a little bit lower, and frankly, a lot lower, 584 or lower. And a fairly nice up day on the 5-minute chart on the QQQs. NASDAQ futures you expect to be pretty much identical except for the different trading hours. No higher high than yesterday on the NASDAQ futures. Closed a little bit higher on the day. This is the third highest close we've had for the whole, well, everything. But watch out. If we start getting below Thursday's bearish engulfing, that starts to confirm the likelihood that that is going to be a significant break starting point, that we turned on red on the day it happened. Actually, the minute, actually the tick that happened, but you didn't see it. Next, NASDAQ futures sideways, need to see lower lows, gaps to close. And we have a new bearish engulfing on the YM. Brand new. Now it's the second one. Normally these kick in a really good break that has already started on the high day that we have a bearish engulfing 1029. Obviously, we saw the October lows on October 10th, which I did not expect. But there they are, past tense, whether I called it or not. History shows that it happened again. Now, a bunch of sell signals. I'm very expecting that we're going to see, probably before the end of this week, a pretty significant break. And the 5-minute data on the YM. And Russell only topped out at resistance, not even overbought, just simply stopped. A little double top possible. We haven't started to close below the lowest low between the two highs, and that would be 2430.7. Below that, we should have a downside objective at the bottom of the support area. No coincidence. There we have it. Second day in a row, 100% of the price range is below the bottom of an upward slanting channel that lasted quite a long time, since May. Bearish. Next, 5-minute chart, bonds keep coming down. 13, new low close. not oversold, although it's getting kind of close. So we might just accelerate a little bit, come down to 150, about 116, a little below maybe, or a few ticks above. Get oversold at that point and start to bottom out for a modest short-term bounce. I am not very bearish long-term. I'm only expecting a little bit more of a bearish correction in the longer-term bull market. Next, same thing for notes. A doji 2 days in a row, not making any upside progress, kind of stuck in a little trending range. Need to close below support, 112.15-ish, 112 and a half, and we'll see how it handles, excuse me, the longer term bull trend line, which is also a previous support area. If it fails and breaks below it, we've got a downside objective, 110.11. Next, kind of getting stuck a little bit here in crude oil in a sideways range. Yeah, I see a possible little shoulder here low on October 2nd, and the head here on October 20th, and the last shoulder low a few days ago, October 30th, on Thursday of last week. Symmetry is pretty good. Timing looks a little lopsided, not much. I haven't measured it. And the neckline is pretty flat, which is pretty normal. As a matter of fact, that one, the most important one, I'm going to draw in for you right now. That's good enough. Interesting. See how it happens. See what happens. Natural gas, third time, fourth time sort of in a row, stopping at resistance, pulling back down a little, not overbought or kind of close. I still think this longer term bear trend is going to break down into new lows, maybe kind of suddenly. Next, heating oil. Trouble at, where's my cursor? Okay, good. Trouble at previous highs, almost exactly. Engulfing, although it closed higher. Overbought conditions a week ago and a double top possibility look really interesting. Until it makes a new high close above the close of a couple of weeks ago or last week, I'm going to turn neutral and looking kind of like I want to see some bearish new low closes. Next, we've got gold. Still looking for lower levels. Almost caught the top of the market 1 day early, October 17th. Looking for a move down to probably in the ballpark of 35.96. Silver, we did get the top of the market. Second day in a row down a little after a rally. Stopped about where you might expect. And now I'm looking for a lower low and a move down to probably a minimum of 40.42 or 37-ish. Next, platinum. After a flat, we're starting to weaken. No higher high, little bit of a lower low, fairly steady close. This could fall apart pretty easy. Neutral bearish. If it really starts to tank, I'm not necessarily expecting much more than 1375, 1350. Next, bearish engulfing copper today. Outside down day after it coming down a little bit. Still is a bearish ER sell signal. That's why it turned red. But we're at support. And we've already dropped a bit. We'll see if this immediately starts to make lower lows, lower closes, at least at a minimum this week without getting above today's high. Bearish, looking for lower levels. Probably tested lows. Soybeans. Remember the grain complex I've been talking about for months and months and months. Maybe too long. A long-term bottom developing. Now we have a major upside breakout today in particular. Too much, too quick, too fast, all the way up to 93, it looks like. We scale that. And 96, I can tell you exactly. 93.65. So anything above 90, I scream bloody murder. We're about to top out. It might pop up like a volcano a little bit more for a fraction of a day, although sometimes it does more. It happened in gold, I think. But watch out. No way in hell would I want to be a buyer at these levels. I would be watching puts like crazy, um, looking for any decent sign that the market has started to flip-flop. Next, bullish engulfing at the same time on soybean oil. That doesn't work out well. If I'm expecting beans to top out, why would I expect soybean oil to go straight back up, which I do? Interesting. So bullish engulfing, yeah, buy signal, but still inside this channel. This should shove it up quite a bit and soon, maybe even this week, make new highs above 51.90. That would be interesting. Bullish, expecting. Next, new high, about unchanged. Meal, but already way too high on RSI at 97. Oh, I can't help it. This is the short sale almost immediately. Can't come up with the right phrase. Next, bearish engulfing. I didn't want it to work. Closed a little higher yesterday than the engulfing on Thursday last week. Up a little bit more today. Let's see it break the high on a close of Thursday of last week, and that'll kill the signal. We've got a bigger head and shoulder bottom. I put some markers in there. Unfortunately, a single shoulder and a double shoulder on the right, and also the timing is a little too late on the right. But the pattern's basically there. We broke out, did never close below the neckline again so far. It's been only a few days, and it looks like we're about to make a new high for the move up, which would be nice. And it would kill the bearish engulfing. I did not expect to work, and I said so a couple of days ago. Next, bearish engulfing did not work on wheat. Remember, long-term bottoms. And that is usually pretty friendly on a short-term basis. I'm not going to say bullish, but we're now overbought again. I think we could probably pop up to something in the ballpark of 557, give or take a few pennies. We're already at 43, and then top out. Next, a short-term, long-term bull market, I think starting in wheat. Apple dropped off a couple days, a little lower close. All I can say is damn near had a whopping bearish engulfing ER signal yesterday, but didn't make a lower low, so no signal. Today it did make a lower low than the last previous 3 days, but it closed only a modest amount lower. Looking for this gap to get closed and this gap to get closed and a test of probably in the ballpark of 241. Next, double top still is possible, although a new high for the trend by a smidgen. The close is below the old high. Not particularly a good sign. No reversal per se. I've just seen this happen too often to ignore it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. This could be the start of something down. Close a gap at a minimum 397.20. Another gap below that around 370-ish and even lower. I didn't expand this. I probably could do that way over here. Okay, that's pretty good. Drop it right up there. Okay, so reasons to believe a big retracement coming and possible double top in NVIDIA, slightly lower close on the open. Couldn't make a new high. Nothing particularly special. Still overbought. Gaps to close at lower levels. Next, we've got AMD, Doji, higher closed. Waiting, uncertainty, gaps to close at lower levels all the way down to 170. And we're back to E-mini. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day and profitable trading to you.